What's going on, YouTube? So the new Apple event is set for May 7th, and everybody's talking about the debut of a potential M4-powered iPad Pro. But here's why that doesn't matter, and I'll tell you what is going to save the iPad. Before we do that, hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granite Geek Show. So this Apple event is coming May 7th. At 7 a.m. Pacific time. So it's going to be 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. And here's the thing. Apple doesn't just have events for events' sake, right? If there was nothing event worthy, they probably wouldn't have had this event at all and just released the iPads in a press release. This is their springtime event, even though it's getting a little late in the spring. It's not WWDC, so don't expect anything crazy. But the M4 iPad Pro is set to make a debut here. Mark Gurman said that was what was going to happen, and the general consensus around the web is that's what it's going to be. But the M4 chip, all it would do is add more power, like every other iteration of the iPad Pro before it. There could potentially be AI incorporated into the M4 or some sort of AI capabilities. Apple's been real hush-hush about what they're working on in terms of AI. Could this be the event that they talk about it? I don't think so. Even if you look at one of the graphics that they're using for the Apple event, it's like these wave things, I'll show you a picture of it here, but it looks more like spatial audio perhaps, or AR with the Vision Pro, maybe an update to that. I doubt it. Vision Pro hasn't been out that long, but they changed the graphics a couple of times. Certainly the first one with the Apple Pencil in somebody's hand tipped everybody off that this was going to be an iPad focused event, or at least that would be one of the big releases. But I'm going to tell you what I think the iPad needs. My first viral video ever that I made, for those of you who are new to the channel, was one where I predicted exactly where Apple was going with the iPad Pro. I predicted that Logic would be coming. I talked about, all the professional tools, dual screen support, all that kind of stuff before it was really popular. And people thought I was crazy. Well, it turned out that that's exactly where Apple was heading. Well, now they may be a little confused, I don't know, probably not, about where to go with the iPad. It seems like they've given people everything that they wanted, right? We wanted an increasingly powerful iPad that even had the same kind of chips or same caliber chips that the Mac had, right? And so, yes, we have the M series. Now, the iPads haven't gotten a Pro chip yet, but they do have the M series chips, which are immensely powerful, can certainly do video editing in 4K, can certainly do audio editing. That's why Logic is on iPad Pro now. That's why Final Cut Pro is on iPad Pro now. And is it like the Mac experience completely? No, but it's here. It is not Final Cut Lite or Final Cut iPad Pro. Like, it is just Final Cut Pro. And so we see what they want to do with the Apple iPad Pro is bring it to the pro user. But now that they've done that, it's like crickets, right? Where's everybody saying, oh, it's the best device ever? This is what I think it comes down to. There's long been rumors about a touchscreen Mac coming out. But with the iPad, they thought, hey, we can just do that with the iPad, make it more and more powerful. I think that outside of bringing Mac OS to the iPad, people are still going to prefer their Macs over the iPad when it comes to getting real professional work done. Now, I love the iPad Pro. The form factor is superior to the Mac, in my opinion, with it being lightweight, almost the same screen size. If you can put a banging chip in there, then it's super powerful. I can, dock it to a keyboard and type wirelessly. I can magnetically attach it, and it looks basically just like a Mac. If you want this case, I'll link it down below. It's pretty fire. So it's highly versatile, super powerful. The problem with the iPad Pro, which has always been the problem with the iPad Pro, continues to be software. Is it great? Yes. But here's where they're not seeing the adoption they want to see. Professionals are very slow to adopt new technology. And that's really what it comes down to. You could have, look how many Macs are still being used in professional studios where they're still using like the trash can Mac Pro, right? Which everybody hated. But when people upgraded to it, whether it's corporate world or video production, music production, you still see a lot of those in places. And it's because professionals, they want to wait until something is not only out, but it's been used in various situations It's been battle tested and it's stable with software and all that different kind of stuff. The iPad Pro, Apple, it's still a very new technology, right? Computers, laptops, and desktops have been around for decades, okay? The iPad Pro has not been. I think it's just over a decade old, a little over a decade. So they're going to have to show the power of the iPad Pro, the superiority of the form factor. They're going to have to give it maybe real power, maybe even an M Pro chip. I don't really think that would be capable with modern day thermals. But until they do that and then show people doing real professional work, hey, hire some actual movers and shakers in the industry to do work on the iPad Pro, right? Get Drake or Taylor Swift to make an album on the iPad Pro, right? It's got USB-C. You can plug in maybe an Apollo or maybe one of the UAD Spark devices, a Focusrite or an Audient interface. Have them make the song. Have somebody mix the song in Logic, right? Show them the superiority of being able to. The touchscreen is such a nice happy medium between physical knobs and sliders versus having to click and having like no physical connection with what you're doing. Being able to slide your finger on glass to adjust a fader is right in between those two things. I think a lot of people in music and in film would really love that. So Apple, show it off. I think that's what's going to help move the pros, or at least make them feel more comfortable with adopting the iPad Pro as part of their workflow. It's going to be probably another decade before it actually replaces their workflow. Even though I still think that when it comes to computing, physical computing, because everything is AR, it's moving to AR probably in the future. When it comes to physical computing, the iPad is still the superior device. It just beats every other form factor. And so that's why I think it's going to be the one to last the longest in the long run. But speaking of the future and AR, I've got another video I'm about to record after this one, guys. So stay tuned to the channel where I talk about these AI pins that are coming out and why they all suck. But here's how they could be great. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, like this video, I want to know what you think about the M4 iPad Pro. If the iPad Pro comes out with this M4, are you going to buy it? Is there that much of a difference between the M1, the M2, right? Apple's skipping the M3, apparently. You know what? Max Tech did a great video on why they're skipping or would be skipping the M3 with this new iPad Pro. So I'll link that video down below as well. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.